Hello, fellow wanderers. I'm Endri, and thank you for joining me as we wander through some more Final Fantasy III. So, since last time, I wandered around the desert a bit where we found the airship to find the last enemy we were looking for. This would be the Berserker. I'll have one guard. You should be able to kill him. So one thing to note in this game is that guard takes absolute turn priority. There's a few other things that do as well. Bard songs also take turn priority, which is important to know. Now, last time, we had a couple of things happen. We got our first set of job classes. I'm going to show them off here. I've done a little bit of job leveling off screen, just so you wouldn't have to watch me do that. But unfortunately, this first set of jobs, most of them we're not really going to use. Warrior there is an interesting job. I don't even remember what its ability does. It's basically your early game tank, but it's really more of an offensive job. It does decent damage. It can equip a good variety of weapons. Monk is your barehanded fighter, and this is a very job level dependent class. If you take the time to grind job levels up, you can make this very powerful for pretty much the entire game until you get its upgrade class. If you're looking to max out hit points in the end game, then I would recommend sticking with the monk here for a good chunk of the game. They have the highest vitality. White mage is your healing magic user, and we're going to have one, so I'll go over that a little more in depth. Black mage is your offensive magic user. Red mage is kind of a combination of warrior, white mage, and black mage. Not as good as any individual one, but has a very good equipment draw, and yeah, I really like them for the early game, and we'll get into why when it becomes a little more relevant. Thief can open locked doors without having to have keys, and you can switch jobs at any time, so I don't see a point in leveling the Thief. There's not much to steal from enemies in this game, and if you encounter a locked door that you need a Thief for, just swap somebody into Thief and swap them back out. They'll have reduced stats for a few battles, but it's not that big a deal. Anyway, I'm going to swap into Red Mage here. You can see down there at the bottom, it says Job Adjustment Phase, 2 battles. So for 2 battles, they'll have reduced stats, and I'll show you what that means exactly in a second here. But I'm going to actually run 3 Red Mages and a White Mage, because this game really prefers you have certain types of classes for certain dungeons. But I will have a dedicated White Mage just because I want the raw amount of magic. If we go to status here, you can see all of the stats there are in yellow. That would normally be 9s, but because we've just switched to job, we get a reduction in the effectiveness of our stats. As you can see there, we have 5 of our MP charged out of 7 for first level spells, so our Red Mages currently have 7 first level spells between white and black magic. And our White Mage here actually has 11 and 1 second level spell, but we're going to have to go get our MP refilled to get access to that. Real quick, I'm going to head up here to the first town. I'm actually kind of glad I didn't get into a battle because I forgot to re-equip my characters. In the original game, only the Red Mage can equip the White Slayer, but in the original game, you would have had access to the Red Mage job class right after the very first dungeon, which you don't have access to in this version of the game. And as you can see here, our Red Mages can equip bows. So I'm actually going to equip my Red Mage with a bow here. And our White Mage at the moment really can't equip much of anything. They don't have a very good equipment draw. I'm going to go to formation and drop Refia into the back row here. Anyway, I want to stop in here and use this real quick. Get some more MP back here. And then while we're here, I'm going to wander up. I don't think there's any reason to really buy anything from this shop. I could get some leather bracers, I guess, some leather caps, but we'll kind of fill in equipment as we go along anyway. What I really want to do is come over here real quick And grab Poisana. All of our mages can technically use this, but I'm just going to give it to Ingus there. And while I'm here, he has Cure. I'm good with that. This is Mognet. I don't think I've talked to a Moogle yet, but if you go to them, you'll get letters. So here we've got a letter from Topapa, and it's fairly easy to read, so I'll let you read it. And basically, we can get letters from time to time, and how you check on them is by swapping your lead character. Each lead character gets a different set of letters. But we're going to continue on now. I guess this would be the next place we want to go. Kazis, though I don't think... yeah, Refia won't join us because she doesn't want to see her father, so I'm going to save it. I think... I think once we go to the castle, we can actually have her join us in town. I don't want to leave her behind. So let's load it this way real quick. And finish out our quest here at the castle. As you can see, Princess Sarah here made it back fairly safe. And we'll get to see that room that I showed off earlier that serves no other real purpose. And I know it's probably a little irritating that I'm not showing off the other job classes, but honestly, there's no benefit to leveling job classes that you aren't going to use. Frankly, you don't have any cross-class skills like you do in later Final Fantasy games with job systems. So, yeah, it's just, there's no reason to level classes you're not going to use. And for the first set of job classes, Red Mage is just fantastic. I don't know why, honestly, you'd want to play any other class except maybe a White Mage just to get more healing spells during downtime. Stat-wise, the Red Mages have decent stats all around. They're not great, but they're decent. They have the same spirit as my White Mage at the moment. And we got the magical folding canoe. This will be important briefly. Not actually all that often. Come to think of it, and pardon my clearing my throat a lot. I seem to have something a little stuck in my throat. How's my mic levels? They're a little high. That'll be okay though. And Lady Sarah's going to bid us a goodbye. Not that she was all that useful for us at the time we were in the caves, but that's all right. But yes, we get one lone party member who gets to look different than the rest. So we do need to go retrieve our airship, which is still right where we left it, and that's the canoe. I don't think there's any random battles in canoe form. Alright, let's head down here. Oops, too close. There we go. And we got some cheerful music now that we've managed to seal away the Jinn. And Refia is glad to see her father. She's like, be a man, father, be a man. And she's driving off to home. Well, we should probably go see how she's doing. Yep, you can work in the mithril mines again. This also means that the shops are open here. And we can get our hands on Fire and Blizzard and another copy of Sleep. So I am going to grab... What all do I want? I'm going to grab a copy of Fire. Yeah, just Fire. And in here we can buy Mithril Rod, which is a decent weapon for our red mages there. Attack of 12. And a Mithril Sword with attack of 17. Which is a little bit better than the White Slayer overall, but I'm actually not going to get any of these, to be honest. I don't think they're useful enough to spend the money on. And here we've got some decent armor. Defense 10 through the Mithril armor. We've got the Mithril helms and the Mithril gloves, though no one can equip the Mithril gloves, so that's where, if you had an actual fighter, or warrior I should say, you could equip that. But defense 3, defense 2. Defense 2 you can grab the Mithril bracers to equip on everybody, but honestly, much like the other equipment, I'm not going to bother. I think you acquire equipment from the dungeons in the early part of the game often enough that it's not generally a big deal. We could buy some supplies here. Potion, eye drop, antidote. I've got enough of those for my sake, but we do need to talk to Sid here. And yep, we are the heroes. We've pulled it off. And cool, we get an airship. Like, we've been playing for like an hour and we get an airship. That's really cool. And Sid joins the party. Yay. I think he actually does help in battle. I think he can hit with a hammer or something. I don't remember exactly. If you can't tell, it's probably not going to come up. Yeah, there's a big rock in the way, so let's go in here. This is where Refia and her father are. And we get some supposedly witty banter or something. I don't know. Anyway, we need a mithril bow so that we can make our way through to the next town, which we definitely want to get to the next town, or we're going to be a very short game, really. And there's Refia looking sad for having to help with the smithing work. But of course she will be coming with us because, well, she's one of the heroes. Hey, we have the RAM now. Excellent. I'm gonna... let's check it. I'm gonna check an audio level here real quick. This game is weird with how I have to set my audio. I am going to... nudge my game down just a little bit. There we go. That seems a little more reasonable. How are we doing now? That's not so great. There we go. There we go. Controls are reversed on my mic. Do you believe it? Alright. That should probably work a little better. I was kind of capping out my audio for a second. Sorry about that. Totally professional of me, I know, right? Alright, so we could bust some boulders. We have Ruffy in our party again. We don't. Alright, so we're going to head to the exit of town. There is something else I want to do in here, but... there we go. There's the cutscene I was hoping for. I was wondering where Refia was. She wasn't in the blacksmith after we were done with the upgrades, so there you go. And hey, Refia's an orphan too. What do you know? And yeah, everybody in the party's an orphan. That sounds like another Final Fantasy game that we'll get to one day. Actually, one of my favorite Final Fantasy games. Though honestly, not many other people's favorites. So yes, we could now go smash through the rock or something, but I'm not going to worry about it too much. Still can't believe the music is this loud, even after having turned it down. Alright, here we go. We're in the Mithril Mines, which sounds like a dungeon. Go figure. Alright, there's not much to this place. You'll find some enemies here from the sealed cave, but I wouldn't worry about it too much. They're not too difficult. And I'm blind. That's what I get for opening my mouth. Blind just reduces the amount of hits you can get in. I'm just going to have everybody else guard because I know that he'll be able to defeat him, and this keeps the job levels a little bit more even. Guard counts as an action, so if you're trying to just raise job levels, and since job levels are based on actions in combat, you can just guard to gain job levels, and hey, actual levels. Generally how I'm going to deal with leveling in the game and grinding is I'm going to try and fill the bestiary. That's usually enough to keep up. So if we zoom in here, we can see, oh look, the sparkles. So once I've done filling the bestiary, that's about the most grinding I'm going to do in any given area. That should be all that's really necessary, though if it's not, I reserve the right to get a few levels in case I need them, because the bosses in this game are not particularly easy, to be perfectly honest. The whole point in coming back here was to grab these two chests, which are in fact chests towards our total chest count, and dual wield some mithril swords. Fantastic. Good power upgrade there for one of our red mages. Some normal skeletons here, so whoops. I'm just going to have those two attack and have the other two guard. No reason for them to take more damage if they don't have to. Well, that might have been premature since he's blind now. A little bit. Alright, so we'll have him guard, have him attack, and just guard. I know I should probably not talk through these battles, but this is kind of how I keep things even. And don't be afraid to guard, it is a significant reduction in the enemy's ability to hurt you. And some job levels. Job levels for the mages aren't all that useful. It does, however, and this is the reason it is useful at all, is I believe it increases the damage your spells do. And since we've got a little bit of... I should have just cast it on everybody instead of wasting 3 full magic charges. So there you go. It does improve spell damage, so there is a reason to gain job levels as Red Mage. Also increases the number of hits you do with your physical attacks, but you're going to find out very soon that we're not going to be doing a lot of those, actually. There's not a lot of reason to. Were you a revival pool, or were you a healing pool? You were a healing pool. Excellent. Alright, we're going to head on now to the next area. Alright, so we're just going to smash through this rock. Everything's going to be great. That looked like our airship exploding. That was our airship exploding. Couldn't be that easy, could it? No more airship for us. That's a pity. There aren't any new enemies outside of the town, so don't worry too much about that. Sid's gonna wander off here real quick, and it's like if we can get a particular part here, we can manage to make a new airship, which we are going to eventually need. This game gives you airships early, and honestly fairly frequently, really. So anyway, no new enemies to worry about at the moment. I mean, I think technically... there's technically a couple that we could encounter outside. If we do, we'll fight them. If we don't, it's not a big deal. We can encounter them significantly later. There is a gnome village near here, you don't say. A magical healing solution is hidden somewhere in this town. That's important. That's an actual item we're going to need. Oh, Dash, my beloved Dash. Remember that she's here. And there's a dragon to the east. Well, why not? We should do a good deed. This is the reason you go that direction, and it's about the only reason you ever get to see. There is hidden treasure in this house. A mallet. And Desh ran away. Desh is actually a pretty cool person. We'll get to him in a bit. So we can come back here. Come on, let me go back there. Thank you. Find a gold needle. Is there anything else I could get back here? I don't recall. Nope, just the gold needle. Ah, I can't see. Zoom out, zoom out. So we got the inn here. The inn here sells gold needles, and I'm going to highly recommend that you buy up to at least 5 of them. You might even need more than that, to be honest. And I don't believe there's anything hidden around here, to be perfectly honest. Now, there are 13 chests in this town, and you're going to kind of wonder where they're all hidden, but we'll deal with that in a bit. So Desh has bought the last mini scroll. You can buy mithril armor here if you didn't already. I am not overly worried about that. This is a revival spring. Keep that in mind. It is not for healing, so if you want to heal, you might want to head back towards one of the first 2 towns and get one for free. Arrow is a white magic spell. That is correct. It is good against flying monsters. And we could buy more copies of Cure here. We could also buy Poison. I don't see the reason to buy that. We could get Blind, which is okay. We can get Thunder, which is also okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to buy one more Cure spell. I don't need everybody to have Cure, but I might as well have most of the party have it. So there we go. Cure is one of those spells that's just useful for the entire game. Hello. Hi, you're a dancer. I'll watch you prance. Sure, why not? I didn't really mean to talk to her, but she's just going to do the same thing that all the other dancers do, really. I don't think there's much reason to bother talking to every dancer, but there you go. My mistake. So in here, we have great bows, which are an upgrade to bows. And you know, there's nothing that our white mage can equip, which is kind of sad. We can also buy iron arrows, which are somewhat useful. More powerful than our current ones. Great bows I will probably be buying one of. We'll see. Depends on how I'm feeling. Anyway, there's a treasure chest right there. And you know about us and treasure chests. We have to definitely go grab that. But we have to figure out how to get into the water first. And is there anything up here? I can't remember. Like I said, I'm not overly worried about the sparkly spots on the ground. If I remember where they are, I'll pick them up. But other than that, I'm not too worried. There's no achievement for getting all of the ground sparkles. They're not counted towards your treasure total. And here we get an elixir, the best healing item in the game. You can't buy them, much like Phoenix Downs that I wasted so many of. Don't worry about that, by the way. It's not going to matter. I don't think I ever really use them most playthroughs. Yeah, so we got the best healing item in the game here in town number, what is this, 3? If you don't count the castle. Well, that was nice. We'll make sure to put that to good use at some point. Nope, not this house. Where's the house I'm looking for? Not that house. Am I really getting lost in this town, of all places? All the way back? All the way back. Hey, Sid. You look worried. Mrs. Sid. Interesting name. You need a bottle of elixir. Well, wouldn't you know that I happen to have an elixir. And hey, we did a good deed. And lost the best healing item in the game. We'll get others. I wouldn't worry about it too horribly much. Instead there it says something that might be worth thinking about later, but don't worry about it too much. This game's plot isn't that big of a deal, honestly. And we got access to the airship hangar, which is definitely a big deal. Because, well, we've still got 12 treasures to find, and we've been pretty much everywhere, so what do you want to bet? They're down here in the airship hangar. What do we have? Blind. So we get that for free. I'm just going to toss it on somebody. I don't care. I'm never going to use it. A phoenix down. Cool. Just what I was saying, I used up most of mine. Gold needles. Good to have. Iron arrows. Also good to have. A great bow, which I would say is excellent to have. There are some iron arrows and a great bow, and she's doing pretty good. I am going to equip a bow on him. I know, look at how much that drops his attack power, but honestly, I just want him in the back row. Monsters hit really hard. People who are in the front row. And some gnomish bread and a potion. Gnomish bread, I think, lets you see the map around you or something. Not a big deal. Anyway, if you come over here, there's a secret passage with 2,000 gil. Another phoenix down, which I definitely want. Another phoenix down. And another 2,000 gil. So I got 4,000 gil and 3 phoenix downs, a free great bow. Yeah, I would say it was definitely worth our effort to come down here. That's all of the treasure in this town, by the way. And yeah, at this point we can kind of make our way towards the next dungeon, which was that mountain to the east, if I recall correctly. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna switch my equipment around just a little bit here. I'm actually gonna have him equip the bow. And I'm going to have him dual wield the mithril swords because I think he has slightly better armor. I mean, like by 1 point or something, but you know. I would buy another bow, but honestly, I'm not really going to be using it for much beyond this point. So, yeah, I think we're good to go. Real quick before we end up going up there, I am going to make a quick save here. And yeah. So there are 3 treasures here on the mountain, some fairly nice ones at that. And there are 4 creatures we have to encounter. So we'll start working on those lists. What do we have here? Helldivers? Helldivers! Oops. Okay, have you attack. Good. Have you attack, and I'm just going to have him guard. Because these monsters, I mean, yeah, guarding in the back row, 10 damage, so don't underestimate these monsters. As you can see here, they have a good chunk of hit points, too. I think pretty much everything on this mountain can petrify. Keep that in mind. I don't remember if the Helldivers can, but my natural assumption is to assume that everything here can petrify. And this is kind of where we're getting into the interesting choices of this particular game. I'm 90% certain that these rooks can petrify. Yeah, this is a rook. Or a rook. As you can see, they are fairly resistant to damage. And they hit decently hard. That was a nice hit. Anyway, one of the things about this game is that status ailments appear much earlier than they would in other Final Fantasy games, and nasty ones appear much earlier. In this case, petrification shows up on this mountain and is really kind of mean. Because if you're not used to it, and you didn't buy a bunch of gold needles, you'll not really be able to handle it. So we took some hits in that fight, so I'm going to go ahead and do a group cure. That should be sufficient for the next battle. Just another set of rooks there. No one's been turned to stone yet, which is nice. I think if we go this way, we get to treasure, and this is the Rust Bird, which I believe is the rarest monster here on the mountain. So go ahead and just have everybody attack, and Ingus there really is not going to be doing a lot except for guarding. He doesn't have any weapons. He has poor armor. I don't see any reason to just risk him getting hurt by doing anything but guarding. Was I right? Yep. Chest number 2, which is Arrow. I'm going to go ahead and give Arrow to Ingus, since I think he's the only one who can actually use it. It's a level 2 white magic spell, I want to say. And just some Helldivers. Let's go ahead and just pop the cure. And yeah, see, level 2. My whole one charge I got of it at the moment. But we're still looking for one more enemy. This is the last chest, so I'm going to run around a little bit here just to see if I can find the last enemy, because the dungeon ends quite suddenly. Ah, and here they are, actually. Fireflies, whom I believe are actually weak to, well, cold, blizzard. Would you imagine with a name like Fireflies? I think they actually cast fire. They are a flying type enemy though, so like all of those, they are weak to bows. And well, this is kind of why you get access to the Great Bow in the last town. It makes it fairly easy to... I'm not going to waste all of those arrows. In fact, I'm going to have him attack and just have the rest guard. No point wasting arrows when I don't have to. But yeah, this is why you get great bows in the last town. It makes going up this mountain. I didn't kill him. Fair enough. And as long as he's multi-targeting fire, he's not a big threat. It's when they single target that magic becomes a real pain. We'll see that later, I'm sure. Gonna finish it? Thank you. Alright, that's all the enemies on the mountain. Oh, Art got a real level. Nice. Actual character levels, of course, are a little bit nicer than job levels. And, oh, I'll be darned. Everybody has some second level spell access now. Yeah, we've got one. He's got 2 now. So if I were to go to an inn, he'd be pretty well off. And there we go. And that's why I ran around a little bit, because this was the end of the dungeon. That's a loud roar. What in the world is roaring like that? I don't think I want to know. That's a dragon. That's a big dragon. Is that a Bahamut? And we got dropped off in a place we really don't want to... That's a bunch of baby dragons. That's adorable and horrifying. Who the heck are you? You're Dash, aren't you? You got caught by that dragon too, buddy. So this is Dash. I think he's the party member that stays, extra party member that stays in our party the longest, actually. So, yeah, that's a dragon. We should probably not hang around here. Don't even think about fighting that thing. He's not kidding. It is not time to fight the dragon. The dragon, by the way, is Bahamut. And if you want to run away, cause I'm on a controller, I'm using right button. And that lets you run away, and yes, we do in fact want to run. It is, he will just kill you in one shot. So, just run. And, hey, we got a magic spell for Minnie, so cool. He says he's not attuned to the magics enough. He does know magic, but he is a black mage, definitely, that can wield a sword. Don't question it. And he's got amnesia. So, there you go. And yes, Selena's worried about him, and, well, yeah. While Desh doesn't have his memory, he knows he's got to do something out in the world, so, we'll have to figure that out at some point. And hey, we've got Minnie. That's nice. We've got lots of time. And we're jumping. So here we are, we're somewhere new. If we wander over here, and we talk to this fellow. He is a gnome. And you need Minnie. So Minnie will let you see the gnomes, which will let us see Tozus. And if we come up here, a recovery spring. However, there are new enemies out here in this little area. So I'm going to, real quick, just save now that we're through the mountain. And no one got petrified. Oh, man. So if you wander around this forest while you're Minnied, you will encounter the gnome village. I think it's right over here. Ah, here is an enemy for us. These are basilisks. Who has Blizzard? You don't, so you're going to attack. I think these are weak to ice. I think. We'll find out in a minute. Ooh, nice crit. Yeah, they're pretty weak to ice. Alright, that's the first monster we're looking for. See if we can find the other two. Hey, there's monster number 2. Mandrake? Yeah, Mandrake. So, these, unlike the last set, are weak to fire. Who has fire? You have fire. Use fire on him. And my bow isn't going to do a whole lot of damage, so this one's probably going to survive the first round. Can I one-shot you with fire? You are super weak to it, of course I can. So don't be afraid to use up some magic here if you feel the need to. Yeah. Have you guard, and have you guard. No need to waste resources. It's actually a much simpler way to deal with these if I went into town first, but there's only one more enemy we really have to find. Like I said, this is how I grind. Fighting random battles until I find all of the bestiary entries for an area. Because it is somewhat necessary to level up a little bit. Come on, we can get another fight, right? Alright, tell you what, we are going to actually just move on ahead a little bit here. Item, we're going to go ahead and use that mini spell. Ingus there. And real quick, I'm going to go back and talk to that guy by the spring. Or not talk to him, but I'm going to... I think if we zoom in... Huh, I thought there might have been a item. Ah, right. If you talk to him twice, you can get a scroll of Minnie. If for some reason you didn't have the one from Dash, and I'm not sure how you wouldn't, but whatever. Anywho, let's go here, go magic, and grab Minnie. Shrink everybody down. There it is. Alright, so now we're in Tozus. And aren't they just charming? There are sparklies around here somewhere. Only the doctor knows the secret path, okay. And only gnomes can enter this area. Fair enough. There are actually some sparkly spots I want to find in this town. They're kind of important. So here, if you didn't pick up the magic before, you can buy some more level 2 magic. I'm going to buy 1 copy of Thunder. That should be good enough. Let's go ahead and give Thunder to... You have the weak bow, so you can have Thunder. Living woods. Some attractive fairies, okay. And I smell funny. Good to know. Nothing particular we can get there, though. There are antidotes there. I will not spend 80 gil to spend the night when I could just go to a healing area. There's a special item shop here. And yeah, gnomish bread gives you the ability of sight. I think that's all he sells. Yep, he's a bakery. He sells gnomish bread. It's not worth caring about. Gonna be honest. Any new letters for us? Yes. Traveling merchant came to Ur the other day. Okay. Chocobos exist. Good to know. Ah, there are Vikings on the other side of the mountains. Okay. No, nothing? Okay. Let's head in here, because I can guarantee that there is stuff in here. Mithril bracers, fantastic. A fire staff, also fantastic. A copy of the Fira spell. And a copy of the Kira spell. Yeah, this house is great. Let's go ahead and sort. So Kira is going to Ingus. And Fira will go to... Sure, why not? So just to show something, status here, intellect is 10. If I were to equip the Fire Staff, which has a decent attack rating, now my intellect and mind are both 12. However, I don't want to do that. I can't remember. Can you equip? Yeah, he can actually equip the Fire Staff, which is nice. When he improve his healing and stuff. However, there's a big however. I don't want to do that. I don't want to equip the Fire Staff, and there's a reason for that, and we'll get to that a little later. Was there anything else I cared about in this town? No, I think we're actually good to start moving on. And he needs an antidote. Alright, easy enough. And don't eat random berries in the woods. That's pretty good advice, honestly. Anyway, those are the majorly important sparkly spots you're going to want to be able to pick up. Alright. This will take us to Moralka Basin, which will let us find the Vikings. And I would assume that Vikings will have a ship. A ship would be nice. Alright. And there are 2 chests here, which have Phoenix Downs. Now then, while we're going through this next area, I'm going to explain why I chose red mages, and I think you'll figure it out pretty quickly as we wander through here. If you'll note, we're still tiny, hence the giant human skull there. We're still small, which means we have incredibly reduced physical attributes. There are enemy encounters in here, by the way. I don't know why they're not attacking me. There are a couple enemies I actually want to fight. Alright, well, we're going to wander through this tunnel a bit until I actually get into a battle. There we go. This is a dark face. Anyway, This is why I don't equip Fire Staff. If I equip it, I can use it from somebody's inventory. However, if I leave it unequipped, everyone can use it as an item in battle, and when you use a Fire Staff as an item in battle, well, we're not going to find out because Desh is about to just wreck this thing with Thundara. Goodbye. Yeah. They give you Desh, which is nice. He does have Thundara, which makes him useful when he's minied. I'm pretty sure that he will only use Thundara while minied. I could be wrong. He could try to physically attack and do nothing. Anyway, right. The reason I use Fire Staffs, if Desh will let me show this off, or why I leave it in the inventory, is when you use a Fire Staff, it casts Fira. So, yeah. You'll note that my White Mage did a little less damage with it. That's because the White Mage doesn't have the same damage multipliers that a Red Mage would to Black Magic. Also, I think if we look at the status here, 11, 10, 10, yeah, 9 mind, or 8 intellect, 9 mind, yeah. He's not nearly as good off. And also, you'll note that the Mithril Bracers here, I think, actually give you a bonus to mind and intellect of 1 point each. Anyway, we're going to try and find the last enemy here. There's only 2 enemies, so it shouldn't take too particularly long. And here he is, the Leprechaun. And this is also why I have cursor set to memory, because it's much easier just to mash through that than it is to constantly have to search through the inventory and find it. And he's gone. Alright, that's all the new enemies here. We still have one more new enemy I want to find on the other side of this tunnel, but hopefully that won't take too long. And hello, train! One thing I am going to do is unmini all of us. Cure is a 3rd level spell, by the way, so don't expect to be using that anytime soon. I'm going to wander around here and see if I can't find that final enemy I'm looking for. Maybe. Basilisks are not what I was looking for. Come on. This enemy isn't supposed to be that rare. Come on, buddy. I might just cut to this after I don't see it in the next battle or two. Oh no, here they are. Bugbears! One of the nice things about having the Fire Staff as well means that my White Mage can actually be useful in a normal fight. Because normally I don't heal unless I absolutely have to during a fight. I just wait till the fight's done. As you can see here, the Bugbears are not particularly resistant to magic, so we do a pretty good job of taking care of them. And yes, my job levels are going to be a little bit off on all of my characters, but it's not worth keeping them all at the same job level. Especially because eventually we are going to switch to different classes. I swear, we will in fact use different jobs. Some of you don't seem to believe me. So here we have some very friendly Vikings. Ah, a sea dragon is causing some problem. Well, that's a pity. If we come back here, we find a spark dagger. So this is a fairly powerful weapon. You see there, attack 23, which I think makes it stronger than pretty much anything we've got. 'Cause I think a mithril sword is only 17. It is, to my knowledge, thief only. From what we have. We can't equip it, so we're not going to worry about it. Anyway, that was chest number 1. There are 6 chests in this dungeon. Let's talk to some Vikings. The Nepto Temple. Alright, we might have to look into this Nepto Temple. In here, we've got a in an item shop and a spell vendor here. So if you still have not picked up all your spells, that would be the place to do it. I am not going to worry about it overly much. It's 40 gil a night. I am actually going to rest. 40 gil isn't that big of a deal. And I do kind of want my spell charges back. We're getting about to the end of the episode, I think. So I'm going to finish up here, and before we start the next dungeon, we'll take the break. You can get Maiden's Kiss here, which removes Toad. And some more gold needles and stuff. We're good on items. We should actually be good on items for most of the game at this point. Let's try and find some of those other treasures, though, shall we? I bet you if we hug walls, we could find some. Sure, you're not hiding. It's this way, buddy. Oh, there's 2 more treasure chests. 3,000 gil. Do not mind if I do. And a Viking axe, which no one can equip. I'm pretty sure that no one can equip it. Yeah. One thing I am going to do, because I'm not actually using his weapons, I'm actually going to give him a shield. I'm going to do the same thing with him. I'm going to give him one of the swords and a shield. It'll help reduce the damage he takes. This is a revival spring, just in case you need one. But we're not done. There's still 3 more treasures we have not found. I hope they're good ones. A magnet. This is a cannon. We can shoot it. That's it. Here's the boss. And yeah, he's having a little bit of trouble since the sea dragon destroyed most of his ships. And yeah, if we defeat the dragon, we get the Enterprise. However, we would have to actually fight the dragon, and we'll cover why that's a bad idea here in a second. The wall. Amazed I remember most of these. Thundara, yes please. Fira, yes please. Lazara, yes please. So real quick, you have Fira, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give you Zara. I'm going to give... Yeah, because you've already got Thunder, and I'm going to give Thundara to this one. There we go. So we got some nice level 2 magic or level 3 magic. We can't really use it. We're not really high enough level 2, but that's alright. Yeah. No one wants to die to the sea dragon? You don't say. Anyway, that's all of our treasures here. And I am going to go ahead and save here. And just for giggles, that's the Nepto Dragon. We could do it. Oh, Dash! Dash is gonna Thundara it. We're gonna be saved. How? I think we lost, guys. And I am horribly sorry for how loud that is. Kind of. Anyway, I do actually want to get into a battle with the dragon here real quick and then just run away. I think I can run away. it is going to wreck our faces. That crit was wholly unnecessary. Alright, we got away. I think you have to do that to get the dragon on your bestiary. So I'm going to go ahead and revive real quick because my 4 party members are dead. And yes, if you didn't know about this secret passage, you would not have access to a revival pool. So that's kind of terrible. So they revived, and it actually puts them at full hit points, and we haven't used any magic, so we're still good there. So yeah, I think that is about where I am going to call it a part here. Let me get into the next dungeon at least, so I can do my proper goodbyes and show you where we're going to pick up. So if you head out of the dungeon here, and you head north, probably get an encounter with my luck. Yep, got me in an encounter. Anyway, this right here, this is the Nepto Temple. And this is where we are going to take it off next time, but that's enough for now. So until our paths cross again, have fun and stay safe, everyone.